Welcome back to another week of Instigating with Clarky and Drury, brought to you as always by our friends at Coolbet Canada. What an exciting time to be a sports gambler in the province of Ontario. Of course, our friends over at Listowel Squash Courts and Listowel Vision Care and See the Game. I'm Ryan Drury, that's Clarky, and we're very pleased to be joined by our guy when it comes to the game of golf, Mr. Ian Doig of the Ian Doig Golf Academy. Doigy, how are you, man? The Masters, can it get any better than this?
Best week of the year, in my opinion. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Doig, is it your favorite tournament?
Yeah, without a doubt. Which is really funny because when you think about it, it's actually the weakest field in golf every year. There's only 90 players. Most other tournaments have 156. Of the 90 players, there's 10 past champions that really can't compete, right? So they're past their prime. So now you're down to 81 players. You throw in 6 or 8 amateurs. Now you're down to 70 players, give or take. Out of that 70, 20 of them are first timers. You're down to 50. And then out of that 50, probably 20 or 25 of them aren't going to be playing very well this week. So really it becomes a 25 or 30 man field.
The golf course has evolved over the years as we were talking off air. 1984, when I was there, I caddied in the 1984 Masters for Mark Hayes. I have my yardage book here, and we played at 6,905 yards. And this year in 2022, it's going to play at 7,510. 600 yards longer.
It's incredible, right? I mean, certainly some Tiger proofing, maybe some nowadays DeChambeau proofing, JT proofing, I don't know, with guys bombing it like we've never seen before. And I mean, let's just start there. Where else are we going to start? It's Tiger time. He's going to play. It's incredible. And I mean, I know for our friends in the gambling community and our guys over at Coolbet, on Sunday night, I almost wish I had done it then when he hadn't totally confirmed he was going to play. You could get Tiger to win at plus 5,000. I took him today. I had to lay money down at plus 4,500. But even if he doesn't win, Doigy, this is incredible that this guy is going to play at the most prestigious golf tournament in the world, not a year after nearly losing his leg. This is unbelievable.
It really is. But I'll be very honest. I'm not surprised. The way he was swinging the golf club at the father-son thing back in December, I thought, boy, he's swinging it really well. The big thing is his leg going to hold out? And we all know what kind of a workout fiend he is. And so I knew that he was in rehab every day. He was working it. He was trying to get that leg really strong. And, I'm pleased. I think it's going to be great. I actually think he's going to contend.
You do, eh?
I do.
You do. I was going to ask you that because, they asked him today, he doesn't go into a golf tournament not thinking he can win. And they asked him today, and he said, yes, I think I can win. Now we're shooting this. We're recording this show on Tuesday. So we're a couple of days before the first round. But you really think he can contend, eh?
100%. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't win, actually. He came here with something in his mind to prove, and he wouldn't show up if he didn't think he could win, like he said himself. Mm-hmm. And I just have a gut feeling that he's going to be right there. He might not win, but I think on Sunday afternoon, the Tiger roars will be going through the trees. It'll be crazy. I'm excited about it.
Red shirt, black pants, get ready. And I mean, hey, the odds, if you're not feeling confident about his win, there's really good odds as well available on him placing top 5 or even top 10 if you want to sprinkle some change over there.
What are the odds he doesn't make the cut?
I'm not sure off the top of my head because I didn't even look at that, because like Doigy, I feel like this guy is showing up with a chip on his shoulder, and it's amazing that this guy can, and that's what the greats in any sport do, right, Doigy? They get a chip on their shoulder. LeBron, Tom Brady, Gretzky, all these great players. They listen to people going, oh, they're done. And this guy has a traumatic accident. And he's like, you know what? 2019, we thought, holy cow, this is incredible that he was able to do that. Now he's coming back from something even more insane, let alone all the back fusions that he had to have over the years to get to 2019. Now he almost loses a leg, and he's got an opportunity to walk in and tie Jack Nicklaus for the most Masters ever if he was to win. it's just absolutely insane. And no one moves the needle like Tiger. I mean, they had a miniature film crew out there watching him practice this morning. And that's what everybody's saying. The club speed's unbelievable still. I was watching him chip and he was putting it on the head of a quarter. It's incredible that this guy just continues to be able to come back from people.
I just have my doubt. I hear what you're saying. I just have my doubts that he can. And Doig, you talk about this, like, how hard is it when you haven't played as long as he has to just all of a sudden turn it on and play in the Masters?
Well, that's not easy, but you got to remember, we're talking about the greatest player of all time.
Yep.
I'm a big Jack Nicklaus fan. He was one of my idols growing up, but all you have to do is look at the numbers. Tiger's the greatest player of all time. So we don't know what his mind thinks or what his heart does. We don't have anything to compare it to. Mm-hmm. So I'm never, ever going to count him out. And I start looking at things. I want looking at the way he's swinging the golf club. I watched some of the video today. I actually talked to a couple guys that are on property today, and they told me, they said he's swinging really good. The leg thing is an issue. I'm a little concerned because they're getting a lot of rain today. So the golf course is going to play longer. That isn't the biggest issue. What happens when a golf course gets wet, it becomes a more difficult walk. And that's going to tire his legs out more. So if they get any more rain tonight and tomorrow, then I think we might have an issue with him making it all 72 holes if he makes the cut, because his legs, I think, will get tired.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he's wearing those special stabilizing shoes that lock his heel in place. And he seems to think that they'll help him. But yeah, the rain, definitely a concern. It gets soft, and that can definitely affect an already grueling walk. It's one of the toughest walks in pro golf. And Doig, like you mentioned, you've been there. You've seen a lot of great players play there. You've played the course. I mean, we've talked about this with you before when the Masters comes around. What in particular is going to be of a high degree of difficulty for him in terms of the walk and getting around holes? Because there are some holes on this golf course that are legendary holes that are going to be extremely challenging, especially if it's wet for him. What spots on the course specifically are you thinking, boy, that might be really difficult for him if it's super wet?
Well, the walk's right off the first tee. I mean, it goes straight downhill into a valley and then right back uphill to the plateau where they'll hit their drives to. And it's like that on every hole. It's downhill on 2, it's downhill on 4, and then uphill on 5, and downhill uphill on 6. Every hole has some downhill uphill to it. The back 9 gets very severe. But on top of all of that, just the walking. But Tiger mentioned it today. There are no flat lies on the golf course other than the 18 tee boxes. So it doesn't matter where he drives it in the fairway or not. He's going to have an uphill or a downhill or a side hill lie. And that's going to put more pressure on the leg. Now, he doesn't think it's going to be that big of an issue, especially with the new stabilizing shoes. But, if the golf course is wet, I think that becomes an issue.
The TV cameras don't really do justice to the elevation changes, do they?
Not even close.
It doesn't look like it's that bad.
No. The easiest way I've tried to explain it in the past is stand out in front of your house and try and hit it twice the height of your house if you have a 2-story house. And that's the shot you're hitting into the 18th green. That's how much uphill it is.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know the exact number between the number of feet of drop from where the clubhouse is, because the clubhouse and the first tee are at the highest point, and the 10th tee are the highest point, and the lowest point is down around Amen Corner. And I want to say it's a 600 or 700 foot drop down into that corner. Right. So there's a lot of undulation, a lot of uphill walks on the golf course. If the golf course stays firm and fast, I think he'll be fine. But when it gets wet, it gets sloppy. The legs get more tired.
Well, we're going to pick some players at the end of this. And I can tell you right now, I'm not picking them.
Okay. Well, hey, that's Doig and I are going to have some options then, maybe.
There you go.
Yes, we are.
If I'm laying money down with our
and by the time this airs Friday night, one of us will look good. One of us will look silly.
Somebody will be feeling better than the other two Friday night for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Final thing on Tiger, because there's so many other great golfers that we do have to talk about. And again, it's incredible the effect this guy, again, there's no athlete in any sport that moves the needle like this guy on such a separate level from everybody else. And it's incredible the attention that he's got just walking around taking practice shots. You know, Doig, we think back, and again, 2019 seemed over the moon incredible, and it was. But now coming back from that catastrophic car accident where he almost lost a limb, and which would have ended his career, of course, you think back, you know, we've all seen incredible comebacks from injuries. Joe Theismann, Mario Lemieux coming back from cancer and still being dominant. You know, there are so many examples of guys coming back from really nasty injuries. If he does this, if he actually wins, where would that rank for you in the pantheon of great comeback moments? Would it be right at the top?
No question about it. No question. Now, obviously, I'm biased towards the golf, but
sure.
If he comes out and pulls a win off this week, I would find a hard time arguing against it with any other comeback. I mean, you know, you throw in the back fusions and the scandal and everything else, and now he's got screws in his ankle, and his ankle doesn't move the way it's supposed to, and you know, it would be absolutely off the charts incredible. And I just, you know, it's not just the golf. I think about the era that we're growing up in, that we grew up in, our era. You know, we got to watch Gretzky and Lemieux and Cal Ripken and Jordan and LeBron. I mean, you think about the great athletes that we've had. Now, obviously, I didn't see Babe Ruth play, but to think that Tiger Woods has done what he has done in this era, and I was around to play against Nicklaus and those guys, this is crazy. And for him to come back, for him to even just play this week is a milestone step, but for him to contend would be off the charts.
Tiger Woods wowing people for now parts of 4 different decades. It really, really is incredible. Let's talk about the rest of the field here. Obviously, we'll start with Jon Rahm, who up until about 2 weeks ago was the number 1 ranked golfer. Of course, Scott Scheffler now, after a couple pretty nice weekends for himself, sneaks into the number 1 ranking. But Jon Rahm, a guy that is really confounding right now because, man, if he is on a heater, he can beat anybody in the world, but right now I get the sense that he is letting himself get a little too over emotional at times on the golf course, and it's hurting his play. What's your feeling on Jon Rahm coming into this tournament where a green jacket would really cement his legacy as one of the best in this current crop of players, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, very much so. And you hit on it. He runs hot. There's no doubt about that. And I think it's getting in his way a little bit right now. I think right now, though, he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. So that might help him. It might help him play really well. And the chip comes from the fact that he's not number 1 anymore. And that was a big thing for him when he got to number 1. And I think he wants it back. A win this week for Jon Rahm would do that. You know, Scotty Scheffler, the only concern I would have with Scotty is he's probably tired. You know, when you play that well for that length of period of time, and he's been playing well all year, at some point in time, you get tired and there's a downturn. You know, maybe the first couple of days, adrenaline carries him through, but I don't see Scotty Scheffler winning this week. He may contend, but he wouldn't be one of my top picks.
Let's talk about a guy that's kind of the opposite of Rahm, who keeps it very cool and collected out there and can certainly put very, very good rounds of golf together himself, and that's JT, Justin Thomas. We've seen this guy when he wins tournaments, he typically wins them in dominant fashion. You know, what's your sense of his game and where it's at right now? Because he's had an okay, I would call them almost average last couple of tournaments by his standards. Smaller guy, wiry frame, can absolutely bomb it. And when his short game is working, he might be the best putter in the world. What's your sense of JT, and what kind of odds are you putting on him potentially putting a green jacket on this weekend?
Again, I like it. I like a pick for him. I have him in my top 10. So I'm definitely going to look at putting some money down on him. Just a real good player, real good ball striker, drives it well, putts it well, chips well when he's on. And he's been playing okay, not great. But I think with JT, the one thing about JT is it could take one very simple little thing on the range on Thursday morning and he turns it around like that and comes out firing. He's that type of player.
What are your thoughts, and how do you think Augusta will shape up for Listowel's own Corey Connors?
I actually have him contending. He's playing well. His swing looks good. You know, that run at the match play was very good for him. His confidence is high. You know, I will probably put Corey in one of my top 6 picks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Corey
He's got a good record there too, right?
Yeah, he does. We've seen him contend and play really good rounds of golf there. And I mean, he's got a great long game. Corey, kind of the opposite of JT in that it's his short game that hurts him often. He can bomb it with the best of them, and he's got extremely high percentages of hitting greens. And it's really nice odds, Clarky, if you want to sneak on to Cool Bet later tonight. Corey is plus 6,000 to win, but he's plus 800 and plus 365 respectively to finish in the top 5 or 10. So pretty nice money on our Canadian gem from the local area here. Final thing I want to talk to you about, Doig, and we've brought this up before with you, and I mean, it's a legendary moment, and I don't know if it's almost insulting in a way that they're doing this. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a middle finger to this guy with his new affiliation to the Saudi League, but they're going to lead into the tournament with this documentary about Greg Norman, the great white shark, and his famous collapse at the Masters. Of course, our buddy O-Dog on Overdrive refers to it as the great white shark. So it like that's an iconic moment, and they're doing this like hour, I think it might even be an hour and a half long documentary about it. I know I've asked you this before. Take us back to that and you watching Greg Norman literally fall apart on national television. What was that like? Because this guy was a great player.
Well, phenomenal player. I mean, obviously he was, I don't know the exact number, but he was number 1 in the world for 200 or 300 weeks. Maybe longer. I played against him in some Canadian Opens and that. So, and actually hung around with him a little bit when he first came to America. After that, let's see, how do I put this? He became a little bit too big for me. Okay, I'll be as kind as I possibly can.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I never got to watch him in that collapse. I saw a lot of the replay afterwards. I was playing in the what was called the Nike Tour back then on the same day, and so I didn't get to watch it. But I looked at all the replays that I could afterwards. The big thing that I took away from that, and this was always something with Greg's game, was he played a golf ball back then made by Spalding called the Tour Edition, and it spun too much. So anytime there was a pin in the back of the green, he had a hard time getting it close to the hole because he had to fly it past the flag for it to spin back to the hole. And when you go to Augusta and you start flying at those back pins and you hit it over the greens, you're in big trouble. So I really don't remember much of what the shot making. I do remember on a couple holes, he spun it way off the front of the green because he had so much spin on it. I wasn't bothered by it.
Well, I got to tell you,
watching the documentary,
and I got to tell you something, and it is a lead right into our picks. I remember I was in a golf pool that year for the Masters at the Fan when I was working at the Fan, and I think it was our news director and golf guru Scott Metcalf had Greg Norman, and I can't remember who I had, but I was like 12 back after Saturday, and I won it, and like everyone was like couldn't believe the collapse and everything else, but yeah, it was something to watch. And it's like when you talk about golf and how it's such a mental game, like, yeah, maybe he couldn't hit the back pins, but he just blew apart mentally.
Well, he did, but let's not forget that Nick Faldo played a great round of golf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But let's
not take anything away from Nick here.
Can't take anything away. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
But like I said, it didn't bother me when the shark collapsed.
There you go.
Well,
All right, let's do the picks, Ryan.
maybe your picks at the end of the weekend will bother Clarky when you beat him. And Doigy, of course, you're a guest. So, of course, we will relinquish the number one pick to
We're
you.
going
And
age.
you know
We're
what?
going by age here, Ryan.
Yeah,
just
and
so
you know
know.
what, Clarky? I'll let you have the second pick.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
I'll go back to back.
Okay.
We'll snake draft.
Let's do
this.
4. Let's do 4.
We'll do
Four
4
players?
picks. Okay,
4 picks.
yeah. We'll
Okay.
snake draft.
And
Let's
hopefully
do it.
Adam's taking track because we're not good at this paperwork.
You know what?
stuff.
I'll
I got
keep track on my
paperwork. I'll
phone.
do it. I'll do it.
Okay. So Doigy, you're first.
Doigy is going to pick Rory McIlroy.
Wow. Okay.
Rory McIlroy, number 1. Okay, I'm gonna go with the guy who's right up there, John Rahm.
Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Rom. I will take
2 guys.
Justin Thomas.
Okay.
And then for my back-to-back pick, I will take my guy, Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
Back to you, Clarky.
Okay, I'm gonna take Cam Smith.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good pick, Clarky.
Thanks,
I
Doigy.
think he's playing really well right now. That's
He
a good
is.
pick.
You have 2 now, Doigy.
I'm going to take Brooks Koepka.
Mm.
And Corey Connors.
Corey Connors.
Wow.
Hey,
Sneaky.
Ryan, can you give us a recap so far after 2 picks, just so I don't. Put
I've got Rory, Brooke, and Corey.
Yep.
You have Rom and Cam Smith, and
Yeah.
Drury's got JT and Colin Morikawa.
Okay, so back to you then, Clarky, for your
Okay.
third pick.
DJ,
Okay.
Dustin Johnson, Dustin Gretzky.
So me for my final 2 then, I will take Victor Hovland.
Okay, and
And I will follow that up with Patrick Cantlay.
That's a good
Okay.
team.
all right, my final pick. Is this my final
Yep.
pick? I'm
Yep.
picking Tiger Woods. There you go, fellas. There you go. I got Tiger. Now I all of a sudden won.
Didn't he just say a minute ago that he was
Yep,
no chance he
I
was taking
You
time?
talked him into it.
But see,
You
now
talked
I'm
him into
on
it.
both sides of the fence, right? I
Doigy.
can't lose now, boys.
Close it out, Doigy. What's your final pick? Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, that cracked me up.
Yeah, hey, you both said he's contended, so I just listen to you guys.
Oh boy.
I'm going to go a little off the book here, I think.
Okay, I love it.
I'm going to go with Gary Woodland.
Wow, I
Wow.
love that. I love that. That's a sleeper
There
pick
you
if I've
go.
ever heard one.
He's
Doigy.
playing well. He's
Doigy's
playing well.
playing really-
Flips it in the 4th pick.
He's
Yeah.
playing really, really well.
Okay,
It's funny.
before we go-
I was gonna
Guys.
take Tiger, but he's already gone.
That's
That's right. See, I knew you were.
you thought
I
you were
knew
sitting
you
pretty.
were.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
before we go,
Yes.
Doigy,
Yes, sir.
can we talk a little Maple Leafs?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I ever
Okay.
said no to that,
Okay. So, may I read a little bit of your post on Facebook? Do I have permission?
absolutely.
Okay. So, Ryan, since about mid-March, someone's been on a little bit of a rampage. I'm going to read them one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1. Hall should not see the ice again this period after that move. Holy crap. A couple days later. Not sure Justin Hall would have made the junior team I played for. Come on, Dubas. Hall and Nylander for a stud D and a pick. Now the big one.
Yeah.
From a diehard Leaf fan, I really do bleed blue. I have finally figured it out. We struggle on defense because we don't have any defensemen. They all think they're forwards. How many times are the defense caught exiting our zone when the puck is behind them? And how many times 1 and sometimes 2 defensemen are below the hash marks in the offensive zone? I just don't get it. 5-0 to the worst team in the league, and we actually think we have a cup contender. Not a chance. Glad I'm going south where I can't watch Leaf games. Next one. A few days later. When will Dubas realize that Nylander is apparently made of glass and will break if he hits? How many fly-by, one hand on the stick checks can he do in a game? Dubas, send Nylander, Dermott, and a prospect to the Kraken for Giordano and another body. Well, he did a lot better than that. Get rid of $10 million cap space. Here's the next one. Hey, Dubas, send Nylander to Nashville for Forsberg and Ekholm. The next one. Here's the next one. Only cup the Leafs will get their name on will be at Timmy's. Nice play, Riley. Are you kidding me? Now, one of those posts, I decided I can't sit by idle any longer. And I just said, like, this is the best. This could be, like, regular season, the best Leaf team ever. 105 points is their record. They're like, I don't know, 12 points.
10
points
away.
10 points away with 13 games left. Could be the best game. I'm just enjoying watching this team play. They are playing amazingly. And then it got into the Dubas versus Lamoriello debate, which a couple of Doigie's friends really took to me on. When Dubas took over this team, do you know who their defensemen were? I'll tell you.
Jim Dory was gone.
Who?
Jim Dory, he was gone.
Jim Dory, yeah, Jim Korn was too. Ron Hainsey, Travis Dermott, Jake Gardner, Nikita Zaitsev, Martin Marincin, Igor Ozhiganov, what was it? What was it called?
Ozhiganov.
No,
was Roman Polak not still around?
Oh, he could have been. I'm just saying they were some of the defensemen that
right. They're better.
And then one guy said, yeah, and they got rid of the best coach, Mike Babcock. Like, Mike Babcock can't even win the Canadian University Championship. So I'm not sure he's the best coach. And if he was the best coach, he probably would be coaching in the league right now. And Lou Lamoriello's Islanders, last I checked, aren't going to make the playoffs. So, Doigie, can you just enjoy it? Put your Leaf jersey on that you have behind you. Enjoy the ride. This team is a pretty darn good team. They have, in the last week, beat the Bruins, the Panthers, and the Lightning.
And not long ago, the Hurricanes.
Just enjoy it, okay? I know we can't play. You know what? They're not going to play Buffalo, Arizona, Montreal in the playoffs. So we don't have to worry about that. This team does play down to its opponents. No question about that. If they had to beat those teams, they would be 10 points up on the Panthers. So just, Doigie, just enjoy the ride.
Hey, Clarky, just ask my wife. I do enjoy it. Like, she doesn't even have to watch the game because my screaming at the TV.
Yeah, I do the same.
Gives her a play-by-play upstairs. Yeah. But look, I love the way they're playing, especially since Giordano came across.
Yeah, they
got him and
calming guy. Yeah,
they're playing great. And I will give Nylander some props. He's been playing well. He still checks with one hand. My new nickname for him is Circles.
Who was their better player in the playoffs last year? Nylander, Matthews, or Marner?
Well, Nylander.
No question. It was Nylander. Can you do it again? I hope so. But the other guys better play better in the playoffs. I'll tell you that much. Because I was trading both of those guys at the beginning of the year, too.
Well, yeah, see? So
I had Matthews and Marner gone out the door.
Yeah. So there you go.
They do have to play in the playoffs. They have to perform. But I really think, and like, you know what? I didn't get a chance last week to be on the show. So it really ticked me off on trade deadline when we heard all the experts on TSN and everywhere else about the best team in Canada. And they all picked the Calgary Flames. Well, the Leafs have more points than the Calgary Flames. They play in a tougher conference than the Calgary Flames. Yeah. How can the Leafs not get any respect when it comes to this? Yeah, they were going through some goaltending issues, but you know what?
I think that's what it is. It really
so they have a better goalie. Okay,
it boiled down.
Fine.
Well,
who's the better team?
But we're not
points.
But we're not getting respect. We're not even getting respect from the referees. If you start to look,
the referee, don't get me started.
I know. But the top three teams.
Don't get me started.
Are averaging something like 29 more penalties or something like that. I saw the stat the other day. Toronto's 29 penalties behind.
It's crazy. The first 30 seconds yesterday, Marner is like just tackled going to the net. No call, nothing, zero. Anyway, that's my rant for today.
I love the way they're playing, and I will keep the rants coming, Clarky, just to keep you amused.
Let's just get some positive rants from here on out. When I was reading your Facebook, I was pretending, or not pretending, but like if you watch Drury's Twitter during a Caps game, it's kind of the same thing. And
I was gonna say, I feel like Doig and I watch hockey in a similar way. Although I've backed off. I almost can't watch right now. Like,
but
they're still bad.
Doigie, I was really on the edge of allowing you to come to the parade. So just watch what you're saying.
Okay, but you do
Okay.
understand that I put my chair down there 4 years ago. It's tied to a post right down on
Okay.
Bloor
All
Street.
right. Well, you
You
got to
know,
stay
got
with
my
your
name on
team.
it.
You got to stick with your team. That's a diehard.
Well, he is. He's criticizing them from
Yeah,
a place
but-
of love, right?
That's
Like that's
right.
what we all
Okay.
do.
Okay.
You know.
And hold on, let's go back to them, Clarky. You must admit I wasn't wrong in what I was saying.
Yeah, but you can't, like, if you were the general manager of this team, I'd hate to see where they were be. Like, Justin Hall's playing a lot better right now.
Well,
can't.
what he is, but better isn't good enough to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, well, who's coming out of the lineup tonight? Jake Muzzin's back in, and Liljegren's coming out now.
No, he's not. Labushkin is,
Oh, okay. Well, they said
which
earlier
is
today it was
bizarre.
gonna be Liljegren.
Well, that's what the
I
speculation.
would've left
was.
Maybe
I would've left
Labushkin still
Lyubushkin
has a.
I would have left Labushkin in.
Maybe
too,
he's
and
hurting though,
Liljegren.
right? We don't know.
I
Maybe
don't know.
he's hurting because he did miss a game.
Someone's got to come
He
out.
got
That's
sucker punched.
And,
Yeah.
and since Gio came over, Hall has played much better. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
all the defense has.
Yeah,
But
they have.
But they really do. I can't get over how I get that hockey now is a 5-unit game, the way they're puck possession and where they're trying to play.
Yeah.
But at some point in time, like the play that I'm talking about with Morgan Riley was where Matthews had the puck on the boards, fighting with 2 guys.
Yeah.
And Morgan Riley went in to try and help him when he's at the blue line, and all of a sudden he doesn't get the puck, and they're 3-on-1. Gone. They score.
Just do me a
One
favor.
goal.
When we see good plays, why don't you talk about those two?
Well, I do.
because it's not as fun.
It's not as fun, right?
It's not as fun to rant about the
Let's
good
wrap it
stuff.
up. We got Sammy Cosentino standing by. We'll talk some more hockey.
Sam Cosentino standing by with us. It's going to be a fun chat with him. Doigy, it's always a fun chat with you. We're excited about the Masters. We're excited that we get to kind of pay attention to these teams we've drafted. All of us going for a bit of a different strategy. So it'll be exciting to see who comes out on top.
And we're going to be doing a show soon up with Ian, and he's going to give us a couple of tips.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do a show up in my little studio at my
Looking forward to that.
simulator. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
We can
Our
have a
golf
cold beer
expert.
afterwards too.
Oh,
Cold beer afterwards.
yes. I'm very excited about that. Even though after you watch me play golf, I might not deserve a full beer. It might be a half cup. Ian Doig, our golf expert. We appreciate you doing this, my friend of the Ian Doig Golf Academy. Masters Week. It's going to be awesome. Like Clarky mentioned, Sam Cosentino, Sportsnet analyst and prospect guru, around the corner here on Instigating. Welcome back to Instigating with Clarky and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Coolbet Canada, the Listowel Squash Courts, Listowel Vision Care, and See the Game. And Clarky, like you said off air through the magic of TV, another Leaf game has passed, and what a disaster as we welcome on our friend, as promised, after we chatted with our golf expert, Ian Doig of the Ian Doig Golf Academy to set up the Masters. And we'll talk about that with this guy too. He's a golf guy. Sportsnet hockey analyst and prospect guru Sam Cosentino joins us. Sam, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks. Nice to be on. I like to see you guys have expanded the portfolio a little bit, eh?
Sure. Yeah, I guess so. We're always trying to anyway.
What do you mean by disaster too, Drury? What do you mean?
Let me touch on that, because speaking of expanding the portfolio, someone who's not doing that are the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Sam, last night, we're recording this segment here on Wednesday, and holy cow, another one after so much optimism, a 4-game winning streak. And then they go into Florida, a team they beat a week and a half ago, and the Leafs implode. A 5-1 lead at one point, and they chase goalie Bob. What the heck happened last night?
Well, they got a point.
Yeah, exactly. And they played a pretty good team on a back-to-back and lost.
No, I don't want to do this, Clarky.
Yeah,
No.
that's what happened, Ryan.
What happened? What went wrong?
Cos, go ahead.
What went wrong? I don't know. Go ask New Jersey. It happened to them.
Yeah, it happened to Washington earlier in the year. It happened to a lot of teams. So to Florida.
Florida's good. No, you know what? Listen,
exactly.
I think, but if you're going to be a contending team, you have to have some concerns. Like New Jersey, okay. Washington, they're just hanging on by a hair to that 8th spot in the East. New Jersey, they've been out of it for about 10 years now. So it's a little bit of a different story if you're planning on being a cup contender, or I guess in the Leafs case, planning on winning around for a change. like that's the thing you have to be concerned about. And you also have to be concerned a little bit about, I don't know, is this a potential first round matchup? Like, a couple things would have to go sideways for that to happen, but it's not completely out of the question that this could end up being a first round matchup. If Tampa goes on a really good run, if Florida goes down the tubes a little bit, I mean, who knows, right? So yeah, there's a little bit of pause for concern, but take that aside for a sec. Was that not one of the best hockey games you've ever seen in terms of pure entertainment?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. I'm sure the coaches didn't like it, Sam, but
no,
yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. Who wouldn't? Yeah. I would literally have paid Toronto Maple Leafs prices to go and watch that live if it were in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most entertaining game I've seen all year, and it's not even close.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? Like, I guess I'm a half full kind of guy. The Leafs played well the first half of the game, no question about it. They're up 5-1. Here's my thing. Yes, there's concern. The Leafs blew a 5-1 lead, but the team they played is also supposedly a cup contender who were down 5-1. So there's concerns on both sides. There's concerns everywhere in the league with every team right now, right? I
couldn't agree more. I guess maybe more, and again, just to tilt it the other way a little bit. I mean, if Shalgren's hurt, who knows what's happening there?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be like their 8th or 9th goalie that's been hurt of all their options. And if Campbell isn't really, I don't know if he was even hurt with the rib thing. Let's just say that was. No, there's a couple goals in there last night that you'd have to be concerned about. So the only reason I say that, Clarky, is that I don't want to always be the Leafs doomsayer. But if I look at Florida, you got Bobrovsky and Knight. Those are the guys you've been rolling with all year. If I look at Toronto, you have Campbell, and then you have Shalgren. Is Shalgren hurt? Is it Hutchinson? So that would be the concern. And I think anytime you're going towards the playoffs, you want to have two guys that you're really confident with, because not one guy is going to carry the mail unless you get the old freak like a Vasilevsky or something. And Toronto obviously doesn't have that luxury. Florida, as a contending team, doesn't even have that luxury. So
Vasilevsky, the guy that leaves speed on Monday. So you're talking about?
Yeah. One time. Congrats. Yeah.
That they pounded him for 6, which is the most he's given up at home all year and the most he's given up all year anywhere. But yeah, that guy too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel a lot more comfortable with Brian Elliott having to come in and play a few games than I do with a Shalgren or, in the case of Hutchinson, if that's the next best option.
Oh, yeah. That's not a good option.
So sometimes you have to call it the way it is, right?
Mm-hmm. And Jeff O'Neill last night on the broadcast sort of accused Shalgren of maybe giving up a couple of weak ones and then pulling the old shoot.
Oh,
I don't know.
The Tiger Woods glute grab,
right? Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, geez, I don't feel well. I don't know. Like, the flu bug is going around too. Who knows what was wrong with him? Like, it looked like he caught it maybe in the collarbone or something.
Yeah,
like
Clark, you're a goalie.
Yeah, that could hurt.
You tell me.
Yeah, that could hurt. But then why is he on the bench? I don't know. Maybe just because they didn't want to have Florida think that they're down to emergency backup if
the E-bug again.
The E-bug, yeah.
Who was it? Don San Antonio 2 weeks ago? Was it that who it was?
I think so.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, and the Marlins had to use 2 backups there the other day.
They had to use 2. Yeah. Oh, they have nobody.
Yeah.
I went through their list the other day. I think they've used, including the other night, it's probably 10 goalies that they've used in the Marlies alone.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
At least whatever 6 or 8. But Clarky, talk to me about the Kelly Rudy thing.
Well, I wear one. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. It's so noisy, and that's why I hate it. But I wear it because I don't want to get hurt at my advanced
But what do you mean by noisy? Like when it gets hit?
You turn your head, it
rattles
and hits the mask, and that's why guys don't like it. It is
really?
very loud. Yeah, it's very loud.
So have you been hit? Like, is it protective though? Does it work?
Yeah, it works. Have I been hit on it? Yeah, probably, but I don't have any puck marks on it. But yeah. I never wore one. And then I saw a guy get hit in the throat and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wear one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I asked, because I know that's your area of expertise and your experience.
And a lot of times when you're square to the shooter, you should never get hit there because your head should be down and the chin part of your mask should be protecting you. But it's when you're out of position. It's when you're flopping around and the guy drills a shot and you're like going like this. That's when you can get hurt. But I don't think
Shalgren. I don't think that was a shot where.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But he doesn't wear one, right?
No, and that's what I'm saying. So
right. Yeah.
He should have been.
Let's see if he wears one next game.
Clarkie goaltending school. They should have been
Exactly. Exactly.
Key goaltending school. That's a nice
right.
ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird you mentioned that, right? Because like a lot of guys were wearing them, and then pretty much most of the big starting goalies in the league don't wear it anymore. It's kind of a thing that's gone a little bit by the wayside almost. I'm not trying to be a doomsayer or anything, Clarkie. I just, for the Leafs, it's one of those things where, as he pulls his fancy mask out, it's one of those things, Sam, where I think because of the team we're talking about, he'll do the whole interview like this.
If you can see, I don't know if I can hear you guys, but you see this part here. Like if you're down, like it's protecting you, but that flap, this isn't the mask I wear anymore, but that flap comes down and protects this area here.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just a little visual. Do you like that mask, Sam? It's good.
It's
I designed it. Mike Palmy on the front. He actually signed it for me. I played against him in a game when I worked for the Leafs. He signed it. And then Wayne Thomas over here.
Yeah, nice.
Doug Favell over here. The goals.
The Doug Favell.
Growing up. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, like Ryan, we're going off topic here, but I got a great story about Palmetier. Okay.
Yeah.
So I lived in Mississauga growing up, and on our street, Tim Ecclestone was renting a house. Okay, so Tim Ecclestone played for the Atlanta Flames way back 100 years ago and a couple of other teams. But literally, these guys would come out and play ball hockey. And then when Ecclestone left, I mean, obviously he was renting because he must have been with Toronto at some point. I never even considered that. But I know he played for Atlanta. But anyways, Palmetier went in that same house. And we get to play ball hockey with him a couple of days. They'd come out in the street and play ball hockey, like almost like the Kachucks are doing now in Ottawa. So anyways, Palmetier to me he's my favorite all-time goalie for his athleticism, for his compete. Never made anything look routine. And I don't mean that as a knock, but as a way to say like, what an entertaining guy to watch play. I used to love him. So sorry, we got off on the tangent.
And that's why I wear 29 to this day. I wear 29. Nice.
Yeah, he's a Leaf legend. Everybody loved that guy.
And then I got to work with him. He was a scout for the Leafs, as you know, Sam. And then when he played in the Classic down at it wasn't the Winter Classic, but whatever it was.
The Detroit one at the big
at
house.
BMO. Yeah. No, the one at BMO. He played in the alumni game there. Right. He was getting ready, and we used to play shinny at the Air Canada Center at the time. And he was in one net, and I was in the other. What a thrill! It was cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Not bad.
He played great in that game.
How did you play?
No, at BMO I'm talking about.
Right, yeah. So speaking of goaltending, obviously the Leafs have a bit of concern there. That's been a running theme for the last few months. Ever since Jack Campbell showed up at the All-Star game, it seems to have gone in the toilet for them a little bit. But defensively, I think, is where the major concerns are. And Clarkie, I know I'm not trying to be a doomsayer or whatever. Yeah. It's because I'm saying it's a disaster because Florida's a contender, but no one up here cares about how well the Florida Panthers are doing. Their fans don't even care because it wasn't sold out last night. A lot of empty seats down there. It's embarrassing for a team that's in first place, but that's a whole other story. At least they're not Arizona. It's more so that because of who the Leafs are and what they represent and this thing that they're trying to do with all this talent that they have, high priced talent, blowing a game like that last night against a team that you're going to likely be competing against to try and come out of the East, that's a major concern.
Yeah, we got to play. We got to play great every game, don't we?
I'm not saying you have to play great every game, Clarkie.
But last week
5-1, Clarkie.
They beat Florida last week. They beat Boston last week. They beat Tampa on Monday.
Hooray!
4 contenders they've played, time, and they got 2, 4, 6, 7 points out of 8.
Neat.
Pretty good.
One time though.
That's okay. 4-7. They're up 3 games to 1. I'll take it.
Yeah, one time doesn't mean a series.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
The Leafs are unbelievable.
This is the best Leaf team I've ever seen.
You can't discount that. Austin Matthews is the best player in the league right now.
Yeah.
They have the best player in the league.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. Now, having said all that, you got to win around. So
for sure.
I think everyone's in that same boat.
Yep.
But I don't know. A game like last night gives me a little bit of pause for concern, especially with the goaltending. But having said that, the track record all year is this is a really good team. They're in a place where they deserve to be. They're going to be a 100-point team. They should be a Stanley Cup contender, but you can't win a Stanley Cup until you win round 1. Right. So I love their hockey club. Yeah, there's some holes defensively. And you know what? When you play that style of game, you're going to give up chances. You're going to give up chances off the rush.
Yeah.
You know, like Tampa's a good rush team. Even Montreal's a really good rush team, and they've had Toronto's number for a couple of games this year. So, yeah, you're going to give up some stuff. There's no question about it. But at the end of the day, this is an unbelievable team, and fans who have been around for 100 years, and I call myself one of those fans. It's a pleasure to watch them. It really is. Like, for me, I watched Mitch Marner growing up all the way through from 16 years old. Is there really a better playmaker, maybe next to Huberdeau in the entire league? I don't know if there is. So we're lucky, man. We get to see Marner and Matthews every single night. That's stuff you pay for. Honestly, they're a really, really good team. Yeah, I'd like to see them be better on the back. Yeah, I'd like to see them play with a little more grit. Of course, there's going to be holes. Every team, though, that you go up and down the list has some holes in it. Tampa's played the most games of anybody. You know, Florida obviously has some issues with their ability or their defensive liabilities or ability to give up goals. You can go right through the list. But we're, as Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and again, I probably shouldn't say this because I'm in the media, but like, I'm a fan, and I love watching this team play. They have to win around them.
Sam, talking about rounds, who's their best matchup and who's their worst matchup right now?
Well, it's funny you say that because I honestly think that Carolina is their best matchup. It's probably not going to be a situation, you know, like Boston.
Well, if they drop the fourth.
Well, right. So it's not inconceivable, right? I think they're the best matchup because I think Toronto can match them in a run and gun game. I don't think either team is particularly intimidating when it comes to the physical side. I think defensively, Carolina probably has a bit of an edge. If you're a Maple Leafs fan, you're saying, oh, good, we'd love to face Freddie Anderson because he never got the Toronto Maple Leafs through a first round. And if you're a Carolina fan, you're saying, yeah, I'll take any one of Campbell, Mrazek, Hutchinson, Shalgren, Wall, and be happy with it. But honestly, just in terms of the style of play and going toe-to-toe, I think they match up well. The teams that worry me a little bit are Boston because no matter what you say, you have that still in the back of your head. Tampa's a defending champ. It would suck to have to play them because you know they're going to have one point where they're going to dial it up again. Florida, awesome team, highly offensive, really good defensively up until the last little while here. But they come at you in waves. They play with some physicality. Like, I think the best matchup is Carolina. The team I'd least like to see in round one would probably be Boston at this point.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on the Boston one. I think they match up well against Tampa and they can beat Tampa. But they are the two-time defending champs, and it's always hard. The other team, and I'm not saying this because of Drury, I don't want to face the Washington Capitals either in the first round. Washington's a big team, and the last time they played them, yes, at least won, but I don't know. When you got a guy like Tom Wilson running around, your head's on a swivel. And I don't know. I don't think the Leafs will face them because that would mean that they would catch Florida. But I wouldn't want to play them.
Sorry about the phone, guys.
No, it's all good. I understand what you're saying there. It's just that I think that in Washington's case, and I mean, I can speak on that being a bit of a self-proclaimed expert on that team. I don't think that they necessarily.
Who's the call? Who's the call from, Sam?
I have no idea. I can't even reach the phone. From 0003. You know what it is?
Yeah, you're going to jail probably.
No, it's the duck cleaners.
Oh, the duck.
100%. Yeah, you got dusty ducks, man. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We all do apparently. No, I just think that Washington would actually be. Here's the thing. The caveat would be, are the Leafs best players? Because, Sam, I agree with everything you said. This is the most entertaining Leafs team. I was born in 1991. I don't remember watching the Gilmore team.
No, this is the best team. I was not the most entertaining. This
is the most entertaining team, bar none, in my lifetime for the Leafs. And, Clarkie, you're saying ever? I'd be inclined to agree with you. They've never had two players on their team like Marner and Matthews. I had
them both traded at the beginning of the year too.
That's your Backstrom Ovechkin. Okay.
Hey, so Marner's got to put up some points in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying there.
He's got to score and put up some points.
That's my point.
If not, he's useless.
Those guys, they're your Backstrom Ovechkin for all intents and purposes, right? There's your thing. Are those guys going to play well finally all together in the playoffs? Because the last few years, that first year when they made the playoffs and they played Washington, Matthews was really, really good. He was a rookie that year. Marner, not so much. I don't think Marner's ever really been good in the playoffs, to be perfectly fair. And then last year, Nylander was the one big guy. And of course, John Tavares got hurt, and that was terrible. But even the year before, Tavares wasn't good in the playoffs. So that's the caveat. I don't care who they play. Boston, big, scary, check ya. Washington, big, scary, check ya. No goaltending in Washington, by the way. That's the caveat. Can those guys all deliver what they can that we see in the regular season in the playoffs? Because if so, they can beat Washington in 5 or less. Washington's goaltenders can't stop anything. They're not good defensively. Their special teams suck. Peter Laviolette's going to get fired at the end of the year, and he should. I love Lavi. I don't want to call for people's jobs. Terrible when you've got Ovechkin and all those guys. The Leafs can absolutely beat them. Can they beat Tampa? I think they can, not based off that one game. But when you look at Tampa and how much games they've had to play, they've played more hockey games than anybody over the last 3 years.
Yep, I agree.
When does that catch up? And Boston's nothing special offensively outside of that big top line. You get past Bergeron and Pasternak, Marchand, Charlie Coyle.
But it's still that thing about
Boston. It's the aura.
Yeah,
sure.
It's the aura. It is. Sure. But the aura disappears quickly if Matthews scores a hat trick game 1 and Marner's got 4 points or something.
Absolutely.
They got to deliver. They cannot have Jason Spezza and Nylander be their best forwards. Period.
No question about it. We know. We'll have to wait and see.
But they are fun to watch. Isn't that something? Better than it's better than 2010, isn't it? When Joffrey Lupul and
better than 1981. 82.
Well, hang on, like
85,
a couple of those teams under either John Anderson or Brophy or even Nicolak, those teams are pretty entertaining too, because that's when fighting was obviously more part of it.
Boy.
And they'd score 7 under Brophy and give up 5, or score 8 and give up 7 or whatever. Those teams were pretty entertaining too, because you add the fisticuffs element into it. When everyone, thought it was okay, and we weren't worried about the long-term ramifications.
Brophy calls up Val James.
Yeah, but I mean, watching Vibe for those 3 years is pretty special, right? We don't realize how special that is until now, and you're like, oh my God, only Lehman, Vibe, Andrechuk, and wow, Matthews.
And Vibe 3 times, and still not in the rafters. He should be in the
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he should. Rick Five should have his number retired. We got to get Rick on pretty soon, because Matthews is going to sail by his record. Speaking of that, you bring that up. That's the last thing I want to ask you about the Leafs. Let's turn it positive here. I'm not, and Leaf fans,
I've been positive on them. You turn whatever you want.
I know. I'm not trying to dump on them. Hey, I've said it to you 50 times, Clarky. If they can do it, the Leafs can do it. Okay.
That's why this is called instigating, Sam.
We get upset.
Good job.
All right. So, Auston Matthews, this has been a popular debate, if you will, on Twitter. In your opinion, is he already the best Toronto Maple Leaf ever? He doesn't own any of the records yet. Matt Sundin has the goal record. I think he'll sail by that, barring health, of course. Going to set the single-season goal record. Probably should already have 250s in his back pocket, but the world's unfair, isn't it? In your opinion, is he already, without cups or any of that, because that's a team award, is he already the best?
No, I can't say that. Not long enough.
Not long enough?
Yeah, okay. I'm a longevity guy with one team. If you come in
here,
you're a 7-year guy. Yeah, if you're now talking 10, 12, Getzlaf, 17 years, whatever, that's for me, because then you're a true Maple Leaf. You are a Maple Leaf like through and through, right? And not to say that a bunch of those other players didn't go on to play elsewhere, Tiger, Vive, whatever else, even Sundin for the latter part of his career. But like, for me, it has to be a longer run. The one thing I'm going to say about Matthews, and I said it early in the year, I think he gets 60.
Yeah, I think that too.
That doesn't happen. That's maybe 20 guys in the history of the game.
Yeah, it's incredible. 2 guys in the last 25 plus years. It's just Ovi and Stamkos. That's it. So he would be in very rarefied air in terms of this generation if he can hit 6-0, because 50 is special, 60 is rarefied.
And it's crazy, too, to think about. Last night, they got 6 goals, and he doesn't get one.
Yeah.
They're powerful.
Think about the 2 games he missed with the suspension, which was deserved.
Yeah.
So, The suspension was deserved, but like if you play those 2 games, there's got to be at least 1 to 3 goals in those games. He would have already owned the record. He's that good though. I think he gets 60.
I do too.
He's next level, man.
He's got 47 goals last 48 games.
Yeah, it's a joke.
That's a heck of a pace.
Yeah.
So
that's like junior numbers. That's like video game Bugs Bunny numbers,
Yeah, it's bossy ass.
Wayne Gretzky numbers.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty incredible. Sam, selfishly, I cover the Guelph Storm. I'm one of their voices. I want to ask you selfishly, you're a prospect guy. I'm sure we're all still on the same page with Shane Wright being the number 1 prospect, but Guelph's got 4 guys that are eligible. 5 if you count the youngster Jake Oster, who I think might be a 6th or 7th round project. Played pretty well for them, basically taking over the starting job. Selfishly, I want to ask you, what do you think of the 4 guys that are eligible here? Obviously, Poitras and Jilkin projected to be likely first rounders. Certainly Poitras. Jilkin, I think, should be a first rounder. And then you got Mike Bushinger and Carabella. What do you think of those 4 guys in Guelph? Because I've been awful impressed with how well they've been able to weather basically their first OHL seasons.
Yeah, I think for Jilkin, he's a really interesting guy. He comes over at a young age from Russia. The family comes with him, and he gets settled in and comes through the GTHL minor hockey system, and then gets a chance to play back of the bus minutes for the under 18s, wins a gold medal there. Really, really cool stuff. In terms of what he's going to be as a player, he's a really tough guy to project right now because there are times where you see a lot of that flash and dash. There are times where you see a really responsible player. But at the end of the day, there are very few times when all that package comes together for any extended stretches of time. And so that gives you a little bit of pause. So do I like him? Again, he's probably in that, 25 to 30 to 25 to 40 range, let's say. Poitras is the same sort of thing. And what's interesting about this year's draft class is you have a lot of smaller, skilled forwards. And Poitras is another one of those guys. And what's a really large group? I mean, if I look at Isaac Howard, Frank Nazar at the under 18s, you go across the Western Hockey League, you go look at Matthew Savoy as kind of a smallish, skilled forward type of guy. Geeky, a little bit of a different story, but even someone like Furcus, there's a lot of smaller, skilled guys. So how is it that you stand out above the crowd? And a lot of times for Matthew, it's been the compete and the work ethic that stuck out, but also the things that maybe have dragged him behind is his skating ability. At top speed, he's fine. Edge work's pretty good, but his ability to get to top speed quickly, I think, is something that even he would admit that, is a work in progress for him. So he too is another interesting guy, probably sits in the same range as where Danny is. I look at Butchie, and Butchie's he's come a long way this year. He's really come from out of nowhere to be the same, to be the same type of conversation as these other 2 guys. So for Butchie, there was I want to say it was around January when he really, really started to take shape. And, scouts were calling me, hey, have you seen this guy in Guelph, the D-man, la, la, la. And he had a huge rise to prominence. And then people went away to Europe and they came back and they thought, oh yeah, this guy's good. We know who he is now. He probably played better in January than he has of late. I know he's just back in the lineup a game or 2, but he kind of went from nowhere to being up here to going kind of back down and to the middle again. So again, he's another one of those guys who's in a class of small, like the Matejchuks of the world, smaller puck moving defensemen who play with some compete. Where is it that you find the separation with Butchie? I don't know if there is a separating element to his game compared to some of the other smallish puck moving D. Is he going to be a super offensive guy like we're seeing him put up numbers in the OHL? I don't know if he's going to be that guy at the next level. Is he going to be a physical guy? Well, probably not because of his size. Is he going to be a real simple puck moving defenseman at that size? And is that a valued commodity in the first round? That's debatable. So again, he probably sits in the same range as the other 3. The really interesting guy for me in the group is Carabella. And I think, watching him at the prospects game in particular there, he showed off some things like his speed, his skating ability is elite, is probably the best of the 4 prospects. And that's a separating thing for him, right? You talk about that separating element to his game, that Carabella has that ahead of the other 3 guys. Does that mean he's a first rounder? I don't know if I'm there with him just yet, but he also put on a pretty good display of hands and skills, and you get to see it on a more regular basis than I do. but I've watched golf on TV. I've been to the building. I've been to the building earlier this year, so I have a pretty good sense for what he's about. But for me, if I'm looking at ceiling, I would probably place Jilkin as the highest ceiling, Carabella as the next highest ceiling, and then probably Poitras and Butchie in terms of where they all go. I honestly think they're all in that 25 to 40 range. Carabella, I don't know if he's a first for me yet. The other three, again, they're probably somewhere in that range, all four guys.
I like your breakdown. It's like you've been there every game. No, I completely agree with that ranking. I completely agree with the assessment. Selfishly, Clarky, I just had to ask him about that. All right.
Well, selfishly, we have 30 seconds left, Sam. I have two quick questions.
Okay.
You used to work for the Blue Jays. You were around in the glory days. Is this team good enough to win the World Series? And who do you like in the Masters?
American League, yes. World Series, I don't know. The Dodgers are going to be tough because that's probably who the favorite is on the other side there. When looking at the Masters, I'm really intrigued by Tiger if he can complete it, number one. I don't know. Justin Thomas seems like a guy he's poised to win the green jacket. So I think my cool bet money is going to be on him. By the way, cool bet, you're killing me, eh? This geo tracking, I can't make a bet in 5 days. Is killing me.
I can help you fix that. I had to set up my geo tracking yesterday. I'll fix it for you, Sam.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll fix it for you. If you're using
I'd have been a
Mac,
millionaire by now if you fixed it 5 days ago.
I apologize. Well, we'll fix it for you. If you're on a MacBook, you
had Florida coming back from a 5-1 deficit yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah, that would have cashed out.
Hey,
plus
you
8,
guys are laughing. I bet him against Jersey the other day at plus
Really?
450 and going into the third. True story.
There you go.
I love it. That's perfect. Not a bad team to bet on for comebacks. They showed it again. All right. We appreciate this, Sam. Don't worry. I'll make you a millionaire soon.
Nice. Thanks.
All right, guys. That's it for Instigating this week. Remember, you can watch us Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman Channel 6. We debut on YouTube Friday nights at 9. You can find us on all the best podcast apps, including Apple and Spotify. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. That's Clarky. I'm Drury. We appreciate our friend Sam Cosentino for joining us this week, as well as Ian Doig. We'll be back next week with more Instigating.